Welcome to another edition of Reflections. I'm Fred Hammond from the Beverly Historical Society, and we're very pleased today to be at the new location of Bootstraps on Rantoul Street, which is going to have an official opening in a matter of days. And Sue Gabriel is the executive director, and we are very pleased to be with her today.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Fred. I'm so happy to show you around our new space. You're right, the building is on Rantoul Street, but our official address now is 35 Park Street.
Why is that?
Because we added a part to the building that has an elevator and a staircase that connects all 3 floors so that we can use them all and grant access to everyone who needs an elevator. So that's really exciting. So that's why we have a Park Street address. And I'd love to show you around. Should we go look at the building? Great. This was put together by our education staff, and what they did is they asked all of the people that are using our education services, so our adults in ESOL, our adults that are taking their high set exam, so they're preparing to go take that exam so that they end up with a high school equivalency, and all of our youth. So we have elementary aged children and we have middle school aged children that use our programs. And they asked them all, how was the new building affecting them? Did they like it or did they not? And I'll see if I can pick out a couple of ones that I love. This one. So this is an after-school child. I believe she's an elementary age child. When I walk in, I feel comfortable and I feel relaxed. I don't feel gloomy because there are bright lights and the other building was dark. And then things that I really liked about this, if I can find them. This was really nice. I feel happy because of the playroom. It is a new building. Everything is fresh and clean. It's big and safe. It also has a playroom, which I love. I feel happy. I feel happy when I get here because there are lots of nice tutors and kids to be with when I do my homework. It is more light, a new, quiet, large, open space. When I come into the building, I feel very good because it has big classes. The building has an elevator. Everything is better. Our class is completed with new tables and new computers. This was English language. And when we were in the old building, we had 12 to 15 people. And when I say crammed into a very small space. And so they were learning, but it was very difficult for them.
You had those stairs too, right?
We had stairs. Everybody had to be able to do the stairs.
This I'd like you very much to do.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do absolutely love this one. So, you know, we have to say a big thank you to Mr. Ralph Bates, who gave us $1 million gift, one of our very big lead gifts. And so one of the children wrote to him, "Dear Ralph Bates, my 5 thank yous to you. Thank you for letting me have a place to come to after school. Thank you for making my friends and me feel safer. Thank you for the amazing smell of new paint in the staircase. Thank you for your time and thought. Thank you for helping other people's lives." So what's important about having a dedicated babysitting room is that it is a hurdle for our adult education students. If they have children, and then they really need a safe place that they can count on for their children in order for them to be freed up to learn. And so in our old building, we shared the babysitting space with our case management room, our meeting room, and it was not conducive for what we needed it to do when it was being used as a babysitting space. So this is wonderful. It's so much larger. It's dedicated. We have babysitting now that we can offer in the morning. We never could do that before. So it has provided the opportunity for our adults to have much more access to our programs. This hurdle is now not a hurdle for them. So this is one of our classrooms here, and we teach all kinds of learning goes on in here, Fred. We start in the morning, Monday through Thursday. If you come back from 10 to 12, we have either our high school equivalency tutoring going on. It's now called HiSET. Or we might have our English language classes going on in another classroom. And then in the early afternoon, we have in this room, we have our middle school students come in and use this room, and across the hall are our elementary school students.
So those are enrichment coming out of the schools?
That is, we are usually working with students who we already know about. Sometimes they're referred to us by the schools themselves. It's very, very heavy academic. So we bring in volunteer tutors that work with them, and the primary reason that we run the program is for them to get their homework done. What we understand is if they do not have a good education experience, then the likelihood of them getting to a sustainable wage in their adulthood reduces dramatically. So we want to support them through that school process and make sure that they're well supported. We give out backpacks every fall to 700 children, but we also want to make sure, and it's not an enormous program, it's a smaller program, but for those children who are in it, we want to be very intensive with them for that academic support, and of course some of the social support that they get, mentoring support. We want to make sure that they know that they can be educated, they can be successful, and they have choices about what their future is. We also send them to summer camp. Pretty much everybody that's in our education program.
Where do they go?
They go to all kinds of places. Glen Urquhart's a great partner with us. The Y's a great partner with us. We've sent them up to Cranes Beach up at the estate there. We've got actually an overnight situation through the Girl Scouts. Lots and lots of the camps work with us to give these children an experience in the summer that they might not otherwise have, and that helps them to understand that there's more to the world than maybe what they already know.
What about Beverly Recreation?
Oh, they're terrific too. We partner with them a lot. The kids can go to any of those camps for free. They don't need to go through us at all. But we do partner with them to make sure that there's food available to the children during the summer months. And we also partner with the school system because they're the ones that make sure that the federal funding that's available is in place. And they actually are the vendor for that food. So we've got a whole complex system going on in the summertime to make sure that the children who are out of school eat during the summer. Because of course when they're in school, they have access to lunch and breakfast there many times. So, and then at night, we're busy at night too. We actually run our programs at night. So our English classes, these are our adult classes, our adult English classes, and our adult preparation for the exams for HiSET are going on 4 nights of the week, from Monday through Thursday. And we're talking about adding Saturday classes as well, because there are some people who work and those during the week classes are inaccessible to them. And so we hope with this new space that we will be able to broaden the amount of classes that we offer.
Good for you.
Yes, it's good for our students for sure. So you can see we're actually just opening up on this Friday morning, and so the store is looking nice and neat. If you come a little later, it will look as it should, a little bit sorted through by all of our customers, which is a good thing. We like that. And you can see that we have increased the amount of space here. We just shy of doubled our square footage, and it's allowed us to put a lot more product out on the floor. And our donors have been fabulous, and they keep bringing us really terrific things that we then hang up or put on shelves, put a price tag on it, and people buy it, and or we're able to give a thrift voucher to our clients, and they can come up and pick out what they need if they've had some sort of a life situation where they really need some clothing or they really need a piece of furniture. That's how we can help them out. And Fred, I don't know if you know this, but we use 200 to 250 volunteers every week. They come in and help us. And this is one of the parts of the agency that they are incredibly involved. But we were talking about our education. We have so many tutors that come in and they're volunteer. We have people who help us with special projects. We have people who help us in the food pantry and even sit at our front desk. We have 2 front desks now. We have our main front desk that is in our services, and we actually also put folks up in our education up at that desk as people come in and sign in. And so we have lots of volunteer opportunities, and we're so fortunate to have so many people in the community that assist us with this work.
And your hours for the thrift shop are?
Hours are 9:30 to 5:30 most days. We close at 4:30, I believe I'm correct in that, 4:30 on Saturdays, and we're just starting extended hours. On Mondays and Thursdays, we'll actually be open until 7. So, and in case this continues to run, my encouragement would be check our website in case we've changed our hours since we filmed this.
Your opening is coming on the 16th?
Our ribbon cutting is May 18th of 2016, and we're really looking forward to it. This has been a project in the making for over 4 years, and so it's almost surreal to me to think that we have this building completed, we're occupying it, and we're providing the services that we've...
Hopefully going to sell the other building.
Well, hopefully, yes. If we can find somebody who would like it, we would certainly like to pass it off to someone else. It was a great home to us for a number of years, but, you know, unfortunately, the need has grown and we grew. And so here we are. A lot larger than what we were in before.
Owned by the Beverly Patton, you were telling me?
It was originally, yeah. Oh, well, I don't think originally. Originally, it was a car dealership. And then Beverly Patton, they bought it at some point, and they added on, actually the portion of the building that we were just standing in, that dates back to 1985, so they added on to the building. Weiner Brothers was on the site.
I remember that well.
Yeah?
Weiner Brothers burned.
Yes. Whoop, 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 whoop.
And we make every effort to be able to accommodate. You're very welcome. Thank you.
So you can see that when our food pantry is open, we actually use a system that's similar to a deli. And so the number is projected on this screen, and we actually have another readout on the other side. If people are waiting in another place, they can see it. It also is audible. It will actually call out the next number.
How do you determine who can come in?
So the people using our food pantry need to be a resident of Beverly or Manchester by the Sea. And they need to come in. The first time through, they need to actually fill out our application. And then after that, they can come once every 14 days for food. Occasionally, there will be someone who might come in from another community, and we will help them in that moment. But then we'll try to refer them out to the place that can help them more on a consistent basis. So this is a space that we're so excited about because we certainly never had any thought that we could have a space like this in the other facility. So this is our teaching kitchen. We're actually in the middle of running a course right now. It's through Cooking Matters, and it teaches people how to actually shop and cook nutritionally on a budget. And so it's just a huge, wonderful way to educate our clients. They absolutely love it. We have 16 in the class right now. The instructors come in, they show them, they all do the prep on our tables here together, and then the instructors show them how to cook it, and then in the end, they all have a meal together. And all of that is so incredibly positive. And we're just so excited to be able to have a facility that we can do that and think about how other ways that we can use this. We've talked about that we'd really like to have our students that are in our education program, our young children, or our children, to come down and learn how to make a nutritious snack for themselves and start to think about that food is a piece of their health plan. And so it's really exciting to think that we've got this amazing facility to think about all those great things. We can now do tastings in our food pantry because we can make it here. The Board of Health has given us the okay to do those kinds of things. The other thing that's exciting for us is we've always had to turn down if we got a donation of a large, let's say a large packet of meat. We've had to turn it down because we had no place that was safe enough for us to take it and break it apart and repackage it. we now can do that on a limited basis. We now can take a larger donation and use these stainless tables, make sure they're sanitized first, repackage them, and then make sure they're stored correctly. And so that's the opportunity for us to take donations has changed. So really.
Now you mentioned where you get some of your food.
We do. We have great partnerships with a lot of the folks in the community. Henry's is a huge supporter to us. Trader Joe's, we have a great relationship right now. But there's lots of other folks around. And then, of course, we use the food banks. We actually use both Greater Boston Food Bank and Merrimack Valley Food Bank for resources for our food.
Is that federal surplus?
We do not take federal surplus for a variety of reasons, but what we do get, and this is hugely important to us from a business standpoint because of our budget, we are really fortunate enough to be one of only a handful of states in the nation. In Massachusetts, there is actually a line item in the state budget that's set aside for emergency food provisions. And what happens is once that budget is enacted, they split out those funds, they give them to the food banks. The food banks then go out and they bulk buy product. And then based on the number of people that we serve in the community, we can go in and get so much peanut butter, so many cans of soup, so much rice, whatever the staple item may be, we are able to go receive that for Beverly Bootstraps and then get it out to the people in the community who have the need. So that's hugely helpful for our bottom line.
You think something around 4,000 people?
We serve about 4,000 people annually, correct. Last year we had over 8,000 food pantry visits in FY15. And we are on track to hit that again in FY16. It equated to about 360,000 pounds of food between all of our food assistance programs.
And this started in the Baptist church in the basement.
It did.
And I remember,
in the early 90s, it did. There was a need in the community, and the First Baptist Church responded to it. It was their mission for a while. Tom Gifford came on board and really got the engine going. He wrote some good grants and hired some more folks. And I think what the real key to the story is, right away there was a recognition that hunger is a symptom. It's a symptom of something that is going on with the person or the family. There's an economic distress there, and that causes them to need food. And so if you can figure out what that is and you can help them resolve that underlying issue, well, that not only solves a need for food, but maybe a lot of other needs. And so right away, there was the case management program that looks really different today than it did then, but there were some similar ideas to it. Right away, the thrift shop, the seat of the thrift shop happened. They had a donations room. Right away, there was the recognition that sometimes people really need household goods or clothing. And right away, there was the thought that if we can educate people, they may be able to go off to a job that has a sustaining wage. And so those programs have been around for a really long time. They're just much bigger now than they were back in the early 90s.
What's your guess of the percentage of these people are immigrant people?
Well, in our English language class, it's the majority of them, certainly. And what's really interesting for us is we can have up to 12 languages in the class at a time. So it's not any one group that is coming in. It's people are coming in from all over the world to escape something that's going on. Some of the stories we hear are really incredibly heart-wrenching. And the resiliency of the people that come here, it's awe-inspiring. We actually just had our celebration of excellence the other night. And that is where we run a graduation ceremony for the students that have gotten their their high school equivalency. We actually put them in a cap and gown and we let them walk down and graduate because they haven't had that experience. And we commend all of the English language students and all the other students that are studying for their high-set test that evening. And it's a wonderful, wonderful night because the human spirit, pretty incredible.
That's great.
Yeah.
As a former teacher, great.
Education's the key. It really is. All right, let's see what else we have, Fred. So Fred, being a historian, you're going to love this. Somewhere in this wall,
Oh, this is your.
there's actually like a cement wall kind of right behind here, and there's a little bit of space between here and the food pantry wall that's behind us. And so right in the middle, there's a little space there. And we tucked in a time capsule when we built the building. So back in January of 2016 or so, we put together all kinds of materials from Beverly Bootstraps. And then somebody decided a Twinkie had to go in there. So we put a Twinkie in there. We put an old cell phone in there. We put a number of things in there. And we're hoping that it sits there for a great number of years. And that someday in the future, when they need to renovate something, or perhaps it's not of use for our organization any longer, somebody will stumble across what we've left for them in the form of the time capsule. We took some pictures of Rantoul Street and Park Street, and we really tried to capture a little bit of what we do for the community and sort of the sense of the community. A few of us wrote letters. So we're really hoping that'll be a real delight someday for a future historian to find.
Sounds good.
I know. So Fred, this is our new food pantry, and this is one of my favorite spots in the whole building because the model has changed so dramatically from where we were before. We had to, because of space constraints, we had to pre-pack our bags and just give people what we felt was appropriate in that bag. And it worked, and it was okay, but we found that people were opting out often. They really didn't need the peanut butter, or they didn't want the macaroni and cheese, and they weren't necessarily choosing some of the other things that we felt we would love to see them choose. So this is our redesigned food pantry. And we went on road trip after road trip, and we looked at a lot of other food pantries that are around the state to see what they were doing, because we wanted to try to take the best of what they were doing and recognize what our own clients needed. And so you can see our fresh produce is really what we'd like to push the most, and that's why we put it first. We really hope they'll take...
Well, the supermarket's doing that. You walk into a supermarket now and you see the fresh produce.
Yeah.
Didn't used to.
No, not right. And now the supermarket may be doing it because those tend to be the most expensive items and they love for you to buy.
Well, also they're emphasizing vegetables.
Let's hope. For us, for sure, it's because we really hope that our clients will choose what's expensive for them if they have to go buy it, and so very healthy for them to eat. So that's why we put it first. And you can see the other thing that I love is it really feels like a little grocery store. They come in and they get the cart. It really empowers our clients to think about what they're eating and to really choose what they will eat. We believe that we will have less waste and more appreciation for the folks that come through here. So you can see what they do. They come in, they check in, because we do keep track of who comes here and why. And you can see what they do is they move around through here. We've got the arrows on the floor so that they know. Here's where Henry's comes into play, because we have all these phenomenal dinners and things like that are probably just about to expire, and Henry's doesn't want to sell to their clients. And I guess Henry's is now Crosby's, so I should probably put that out there as well.
Are those meat pies?
Yes, so they give that to us, and we let our clients know you need to either eat it right away or put it in your freezer, because it's still perfectly great food. It's just that Henry's is choosing to pass it on to us versus putting it out on their sales floor. You can see one of the things that we never could do before was offer up frozen. And frozen is a very, very healthy and nutritional option. It's a great way to provide fruits and vegetables. And I especially think during the winter months when we don't have as much access to fresh, this will probably get even fuller for us. And we're working with the food banks because they're starting to provide more of that to us as well. You can see we're still offering our milk and our eggs and our meat, all of those very nutritional items here. We have decided to continue to have a volunteer handle that because it's perishable in nature. We want to make sure.
Where do the eggs come from?
I actually don't know quite where we source those eggs, but I will tell you we have a grant that pays for them, which is wonderful. And they're so nutritious for the cost, which is great. You can see that we also have cereal given out here. Cereal is one of our most popular items, and depending on the size of the family, we give out a different size. But we do try to let people choose as much as they can. And I don't know whether you'd like a shot of it, but underneath this counter, we also have all kinds of personal care items. If you're on SNAP benefits, you can't buy anything that's taxable. So you cannot buy laundry detergent, you can't buy paper towels, you can't buy toilet paper, you can't buy any personal care items such as shaving, feminine products, diapers, anything like that, deodorant, any of those things that socially we need to have. You can't use your SNAP benefits for them, and they're expensive. And so shampoo, all those kinds of things. So we do try to keep them stocked as much as we can. And if you come and you ask us for it and we have it, we are more than happy to give it.
Well, so I want to thank you for giving us the tour.
You're very welcome.
This is Fred Hammond and Reflections, and we wish you have a great year.
Well, thank you very much.